We trying to behave ourselves on the story? Well, y'all know what we thinking right now.
I'm ready for the night. I got a little extra energy. I don't know what might come out of my mouth tonight.
Hide your kids. Tell them go sit their bad asses down so we're grown folks in here talking.
TGIF.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Claudia. It is Friday, so, that's our super extra fun, messy show, and we are back with a brand new episode of TGIF. Of course, we're here to spill the tea and break down some of the biggest headlines and all that's trending in the news and on social media. Okay, so sit back, relax, and get ready to sip on this hot tea. Please welcome. Let's go to you first. Funky Dineva, the Reed Queen.
How y'all vibrating? How low y'all vibrating this evening?
All Yahoo News, matter of fact, picked up Miss Funky Dineva, aka Q, aka Representative FOXSOUL, and TGIF.
Our Wednesday episode went everywhere. I woke up the next day with texts and phone calls and DMs from everybody. And just like you and I talked today, now everybody's trying to get on TGIF. I had wealth coaches, wellness coaches, trainers. How can I get on TGIF? We had a good show Wednesday.
It's flattering, but also I'm like, first of all, we ain't a whore show, and can't anybody just get in on this show just because we pop in? Like, you can't all come on the show right now. So, all right, it's good to be one of them. Also, please welcome brand strategist Al Reynolds. What's up, Al?
Hey, what's going on, Claudia?
What you got on? Let me see your outfit.
It's not an outfit. It's just a leather, like a leather jacket. I mean, a leather top shirt.
Blouse.
You're giving me 70s porn style. Like, I feel like you can sexy.
I'll take it.
Like, yes, like you could just rip it off and just
be ready.
Did somebody order a pizza,
That's right.
Hey, y'all matching tonight. Is this planned?
Well, we are matching. If you put it that way, we are in the same kind of color scheme, but no.
Giving Halloween a little bit, black and orange.
Hey. Okay. Are we dressing up this Halloween?
I think we should.
Oh, Halloween is my least favorite holiday, but if y'all say so.
My favorite.
But what would be fun for this particular show? To dress up as the person, like either you're sick of talking about or someone we've talked about on TGIF, like a celebrity. That could be kind of funny.
That could be fun.
To see, like, you dress up as Stormy, Al dress up. Al dress up as Tristan Thompson. I dress up as Kanye. I don't know. It could be kind of funny.
It could be fun.
Hilarious.
All right, we're going to work that out, y'all. Soulmates, if you want us to dress up for Halloween, put some pumpkins or witches and anything Halloween.
And tell us who we should be.
Yes, I think that could be hilarious. Okay, all right, we're going to think about that. All right, fellas, what y'all drinking tonight? Anybody drinking?
I am, after we vibrated so low on Wednesday, I am unlocking my better self into high gear. So I am drinking sweet tea tonight, sweet tea only.
That looks like it has something else in it.
Exactly.
I promise you it's just sweet tea.
I'm doing vodka and orange juice.
Low vibration. It's a basic ass drink.
I'm just drinking Simply Lemonade because I'm still on antibiotics. For my tooth. For my tooth surgery. You gotta say that on this show because they'd be like, right,
girl, the girls will think you got bacterial vaginosis.
Well, not me, girl.
Not me, girl.
I feel sorry for those that got it and can't get rid of it, though.
Ooh, fishy, honey, just fishy.
Anyways, we're gonna vibrate higher and move on. Those that know. All right, y'all. Let's give you guys what you came for. My really good friend, my dear friend Genuwine, had everybody worried after he passed out while rehearsing a stunt that went wrong for CW's new show Magic with the Stars, hosted by magician Chris Angel. Now, in the video, Genuwine can be seen holding his breath while submerged underwater in a glass cube before slamming the side to signal he was in distress. Now, he was immediately removed from the box, but during an attempt to calm him down, he passed out. Now, the paramedics were called to the scene, and Genuwine is expected, of course, to make a full recovery. What are your thoughts on this stunt gone wrong? Al, let's start with you.
Man, how scary, how freaking scary is that? But you know, this isn't something that's uncommon. This is called shallow water blackout. And it's actually a silent killer of swimmers. And it doesn't matter how good of a swimmer you are or how bad of a swimmer you are. It's caused from prolonged breath holding. And guys, did you know in certain states and in cities, especially like New York City and Santa Barbara, you're not allowed to practice prolonged breathing activities around water. It's actually against the law. So I'm just glad, and I can't wait to find out, Claudia, from you, because I'm sure you have all the intricate details around this. But, you know, this is something that we all have to be very aware of, because it could happen to anybody who, like him, is practicing for a stunt and also practicing holding your breath on extended periods.
For sure. Q, what do you think?
Genuwine ain't had no business getting his old ass in that damn box, okay? First of all, Genuwine should have, listen, stick to the lakes and the rivers and the streams that you used to, okay? You as a singer and a dancer, and as of lately, them dance moves ain't been given what they needed to be given. Instead of your ass around there trying to be the Dex Houdini with Chris Angel, your ass should have been somewhere with Lorianne Gibson, Boom Cat, practicing your latest dance moves so you can give us the old Genuwine shows that we used to give. This should, of course, is somebody's health. It's never funny, but your business, your old 51-year-old ass ain't have no business being in that box of water nowhere when you needed to be at the Debbie Allen dance studio practicing your dance moves. You was here to ride ponies, not getting wet boxes. And that's that.
There's so many jokes we can make there, but I'm going to leave that wet box and pony alone. I'm going to say this about Genuwine. Yes, he is 50-something years old. Okay, 52, I believe. I saw him in Dallas last week. He was out here and I went to go talk to him. So this happened a while ago. It was like about a month and change ago. Apparently, this is like on his bucket list. He's been wanting to accomplish this, and this is not the first time he's done it. He has, first of all, Yanni, the suggestions they're giving us for Halloween, I'm going to read some later. I can't. No, Funky is not going to be Hazel E, y'all.
Or Kim Burrell.
That Kim Burrell got me hollering.
Anyways.
I actually think I might be Kim Burrell. Oh, yeah. I think I might be Kim Burrell. That Kim Burrell wins.
I think, okay. Are you committing to Kim Burrell?
I'm committing to Kim Burrell.
Okay, cool. Then we got to figure out me and Al. Genuwine, I love you. You know I do, but we're not in our 25s, 20s anymore. And there's a lot of things we can't do. And you already have issues with your back. And, you know, we're not getting any younger. And I hate for us to lose you. So
to a wet box. Stay out.
Claudia, this is something, like you said, that he's been working on for a while, because he had a phobia, right? Yeah, I think I read somewhere that he had a phobia of water, and he had been practicing this for some time. Is that true, or is that
I never knew about the phobia, but he and he has a phobia. Come on the show though, because I did ask him come on the show. He's like, y'all ain't gonna get me together. He's like, y'all be going hard. I was like, come on. He was like, he got a phobia of TGIF, but he's tried this like 4 or 5 times already. So this is, I don't think he's been able to do it. So
no, I read that he finally did complete the stunt.
Well, I want him to not ever try this again, because again, like I said, he 52. Yeah. He 52. All right. I'm gonna read some of the suggestions for Halloween. They say Claudia's Candace Owens, Claudia's Omarosa, Funky as Kanye, and AJ, Al as Ray J. Then they said Funky should be Akbar. Oh, they said Al, you should be Star Jones.
Oh, wow.
I can't read these. I can't read. Y'all, I can't. I'm not reading these. Stop. Leave me alone. All right. Anyways, we're going to move on from that. We done with that, right? Yeah, we already talked. Okay. I'm silly on Fridays. Hey, make sure you get your questions in the chat, or if you want to suggest who we should be, we can also read those at the very end, the last 6 minutes of the show. All right, y'all. Hashtag 40-year-old bully is trending because, 40-year-old bully is trending because Nicki Minaj called out Big Latto's song, Big Energy, for being nominated in the Grammys rap category and not the pop category. And she said Latto should have spoken up in her defense because they're putting Nicki in the pop category. Nicki tweeted, I have no problem being moved out the rap category as long as we are all being treated fairly. Now, she went on to say, if Super Freaky Girl has to be moved out of rap, then so does Big Energy. Anyone who says different is simply a Nicki hater or a troll. Latto responded with, I've ignored countless subtweets since March and instead addressed you in the DM. You're asking why I didn't speak up in your defense. It's the same answer I gave you when you asked why I didn't congratulate you. Literally, you're older than my mom trying to be a bully. Nicki then called Latto a Karen and a scratch off and posted a private message where she turned down Latto's request to collab on the Big Energy remix. Latto fired back and called Nicki a 40-year-old bully. And Latto also posted the recorded call between them about the Grammys. Okay, is Nicki being a bully, Al? And what do you think about this feud?
You know what? I really like Latto. You know, she's such a quiet girl. She's never in no real mess. She minds her business. She's trying to focus on her craft. So this kind of did bother me, you know? And you guys know I like Nicki Minaj. And I think Nicki Minaj in some way feels that she's put in a whole lot of work and everyone else is taking the benefits of it, which I can understand. That happens. I feel like that working in corporate America a lot. But this I didn't like. Don't attack a young artist in the game, and especially another Black female in the game that's just riding in her lane, doing her thing at the time that she's doing it. Just because they changed up the rules on you doesn't mean that everybody has to follow those rules. That's just what it is to me.
Okay, I agree. Q, what do you think?
So let me add some texture to this conversation, right? So number one, Nicki is 100% justified in feeling what she feels, right? If Super Freaky Girl had to be moved to the pop category, Big Dick Energy sampled one of the biggest pop songs ever made. That song should have most definitely been moved as well. Here is where Latto went wrong. Latto got in Nicki's DMs and said, I agree with you. I agree with you, sis. I agree with you. And that is where the story starts. Well, you agree with me privately, and that's why Nicki then had the expectation of her to say something publicly. I think where Latto shot herself in the foot is by getting in Nicki's DMs, too busy trying to get a feature or pledge her allegiance and be a groupie and say, I agree with you.
Right.
So I think Nicki, I think you being 40 years old and that girl being in her young 20s, I think it is very far-fetched and unreasonable for a brand new artist who is just entering into the industry for them to speak out in something that is not in their best interest. Okay, that girl, whether they switched up the rules on you unfairly or not, that girl won a Grammy. Now, I didn't know this because I don't follow rap that hard, but I did not know that Nicki Minaj is the Diana Ross of the Grammys. I did not know that Nicki has never, ever received the Grammy, despite the fact that she is the greatest female rapper to ever live. There is a conspiracy to keep Nicki from getting the Grammy. I can totally believe that. We can see it with our own eyes. But baby, Latto is not who you should be taking your frustration out on. It should be the Academy.
You know, I agree with you. I think Nicki should have one, but I do think there is powers that be are working against her. You know what it boils down to, in my opinion. And go ahead, Barbs, go ahead and get your little threads together. It's her attitude. And it's not fair. It's probably not right. But I think that there is a bunch of people that are just tired of the attitude, and they are punishing her for personality things. You know, because she does have the talent. She's had some monster songs. I mean, songs that she's featured on, like Monster, where it wasn't even her song. She ripped that. Like, she was a standout on that song. Got to give it to her. But I think a lot of this goes to attitude and personality. And I think people just kind of get tired of it. And then as a Cardi B, who, you know, Cardi is not as good of a rapper, but she's an entertainer and she's a personality that people like. So people want to roll out the red carpet for her and give her things because she's easy to work with. Now, this coming for Latto, it does look like you're coming for Latto when Latto is a new artist. I'm not going to say, yeah, Grammys, take me out of the category and put me in something harder. Like, who's doing that?
Right.
Everyone's looking out for themselves, as they should, I guess. But I think this is silly now. Everyone's jumping in and out, and it's just kind of getting really ugly for the ladies in rap.
Yeah. But I think when it's all said and done, like, Nicki's got to look at this thing optically, and it just looks, because in the real world, 40-year-old women are not canoodling with 22 and 23-year-olds. And the fact that you are engaged in a beef with a 23-year-old, it just doesn't look good.
How about someone put a meme up? It's not even just a 23-year-old girl. They put like 10 girls. I said Nicki Minaj has had beef with all these women. And it's like, it starts to look like, whether or not it's true or not, that you're the common denominator and it's you. You know what I mean? When it's like, if 2-3 people, you're like, all right, misunderstandings. But when it's like every single other rapper except JT, and why should she even clown JT?
Yeah. And listen, I think Nicki is on a mission right now to call out the industry. I definitely think the industry is conspiring against Nicki. We cannot deny the fact that Cardi B was a robot built by the industry to come up against Nicki Minaj, because the powers that be were tired of her reigning for over a decade. And we can also look at them moving her songs as strategy to make sure she doesn't win. They're obviously trying to give Latto that Grammy. Nicki Minaj's song is not going to win in the pop category up against Adele. It's just not going to win. So you can see the conspiracy. But Nicki, all of that aside, I need you to carry yourself like a 40-year-old woman.
And learn something from this. Why is so many people against you? Because of you. Because it's not your talent. It's not that against your talent, Nicki. You are talented. You're actually really, really good. But sometimes I even find myself like, because of the attitude and the antics. Like, don't let the antics, Kanye and Nicki, be bigger than your gifts. And right now, the antics are winning and making you lose. And I hope y'all can get that together because it's kind of whack. All right, y'all. We are going to take a quick commercial break. Make sure you put your questions for the three of us in the chat. We'll be right back after this with Nicki Minaj. And don't prove my point with the fans and the barbs about how y'all be getting where you can get no constructive criticism and you wild out want to show up. So calm down. A lot of people get it on this show. We give it to each other. So no one is beyond reproach on this show. Okay. So just cool your little unicorn jets and relax. Okay. You'll be fine. And I will never listen to y'all telling me how to do my job. All right, moving on. 50 Cent's estranged son, Marquise Jackson, revealed that he's willing to sit down with his father in an attempt to mend their broken relationship. Now, Jackson told TMZ, I'm definitely willing to sit down with him so I could hear his perspective and getting a better understanding. We're both men, and at the end of the day, we should be able to agree and disagree and it not be a problem. He also went on and said, if it's about the money, I'm willing to put it up to at least make that situation a little bit better if possible. Okay. Do you think it's finally time for 50 Cent to mend his relationship with his son? And do you think he will? Because 50's a tough nut to crack. Q, what do you think about this?
You know what? I weep for this young man, because when I look at this, what I see is a young boy who's searching for his father's love, acceptance, and warm embrace. And there's an African proverb that says, the child that doesn't feel the warmth from the village will burn it down just to feel its warmth. And so if 50 does not embrace this boy at some point, that's why you see him acting out. In order to feel that warmth, either you're going to give it to me or I'm going to set this MF on fire in order to feel the warmth. I think that for whatever reason, and I got my Iyanla Van Zant hat on now, I think for whatever reason, the ship has sailed with them ever having a father-son relationship. All right, 50's whatever age he is, this boy is in his 20s. Those years are dead and gone. At best, what this young man can expect is a relationship as two men. But unfortunately, it looks as if 50 is just not interested for whatever reason. And I just have never in my life understood men who could create children and just not form any type of bond or at least try. Like Martina McBride and Tank said, I can't make you love me. You know what I'm saying? I can't make the heart feel what it doesn't, but at least try.
I feel you on that. Al, what do you think?
I think I'm gonna have to disagree with Funky on this a little bit, because I don't think it's ever too late. I don't think the ship has sailed. I don't think it's ever too late for the two of them to develop a relationship and heal some of those things that has happened and is still ingrained in that young man's head from the child age, which is what we know, the formative years that has him so angry and upset. I'm enjoying how this young man took a pivot here, and I enjoy how he put his father on blast in a way of saying, listen, I'll put up the money because you keep making these videos and all these jokes about how much money I'm asking for. I'll give you the money back. Just give me a relationship with my father. That's what I want. And I think he deserves it. No, so the only question that I have here, though, the only thing that concerns me is, and maybe the two of you can help me understand this dynamic. Is this young man feeling that he's entitled to more money? Because why is a 25-year-old man asking for child support or extra money in child support? Or is this an issue of he wanting his daddy to take accountability because he feel like his daddy's 50 cents and he could have done more and could have been there more and could have been more of a father to him than what 50 has been?
No, this is what's happening with this story. A false narrative, like almost always, right, gets out because the headline says something and then the deeper dive gets ignored, right? So he is not getting child support now.
Okay.
He was referring to when he was getting child support, it was $6,700. So he was in defense, like he's basically was telling someone he ain't balling like that from his child support. Of course, we all ran with it. And I was one of the people as well that ran with it, thinking that he was getting it currently. And he's not getting it currently. He's talking about when he did get child support. And I think I think everyone has a right to talk about their story, and no one can tell you, don't talk about that and blah, 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 blah. If my father was closing in on $300 million, I can talk about, that if I felt lacked, that's his opinion. I do want to say this. In this case with Marquise and 50 Cent, it is nice to see Marquise reaching out and extending the olive branch, although I wish it would have been 50 Cent. But it just seems like 50 Cent is, he really despises that baby mama. So the kid pays for it. And then I think, the kid was with the mama, so he was rocking with his mom. And I don't know, I hope 50 it can be grown enough. And, 50 is petty. I hope he can, because if this kid sounds like he's really hurting. If you saw that live, he was like,
right.
He seemed
So he feels like he feels like at the time that he was receiving child support, did he feel like he was entitled to more child support because who his father was?
Probably. I think he was saying it wasn't. I think his thing was it wasn't. He was saying it wasn't a lot of money because the guy. So he was just saying it wasn't a lot of money, and I think that story has been twisted so much by personality.
So here's the funny thing about that. When unfortunately, and this is when it comes down to a child staying in a child's place. When it comes to the child support, so on and so forth, that's not even your issue, young man. That's between you and your mother. And I'm going to tell you something. I actually disagree with it not being enough money, because there are people with master's degrees that work average everyday working jobs that don't get $6,700 a month. If $6,700 a month was not enough for you and your mother to survive based on where it is y'all was living, she should have moved your ass to Atlanta. Okay, because $6,700 a month damn sure would have went a long way in Atlanta. But whatever the issue is with the child support, that's not your issue. That's between your mama and you. And if your mama wasn't crafty enough to make that $6,700 work, then your issue would be with her. Now, granted, 50 is a millionaire, billionaire, but we're not going to pretend like $6,700 is not enough to raise a child. And lastly, I think the bigger issue is when you look at people like Justin Combs and King Combs and how Diddy sets his children up and how some other celebrities treat and set their children up. Yeah, it probably makes that kid envious too, because my dad is 50 Cent and I should be in the same position as these other kids.
And it's supposed to be, at the end of the day, like, whatever we feel about it, it's supposed to be a percentage of your parents' income. It's not supposed to be like a standard amount. Like, we know that don't take $30,000 to raise no kid. It's really relative to the parent, right? If your parent's a billionaire, you don't get $2,500 like somebody, And I will say this, and before we move on, this is kind of the mom's fault, and I hate to say this, and I know y'all love to hear it because you think I don't hold women accountable. It's kind of her fault because she was getting $25,000. Remember, she took 50 back to court and they lowered the amount. So they were getting an amount that's, fair, I would think. And it got lowered. And I think that's where a lot of resentment came from.
Being greedy.
Okay, that makes sense. But he shouldn't take that out on that child.
Yeah.
No, most definitely.
Yeah.
Well, and then a lot of them do, unfortunately. And I think it's really sad because that kid is his split. That is his.
They look just alike.
Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. We're gonna take
a next topic.
We ain't taking no break.
We can go to
I got stuck in that picture.
You had a break. You taking your brain pills?
I didn't take them the last couple of days. I'm taking antibiotics and pain meds. I'm on Vicodin right now. Woohoo! Okay. All right, y'all. Eboni K. Williams is not happy after seeing Chris Rock in concert recently. Take a look at why she walked out of his concert, y'all.
He was so clearly curtailing his bits for white claps. It was just full on, unapologetically anti-black.
All right, y'all. What are your thoughts on what Eboni said? And do you see this? Al, what you think?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I've been the one on this show who said, why does he still have to talk about the slap? I've said it before. All those episodes of him talking about the slap, I never understood why it bothered me so much. Now I completely understand. Eboni did such a great job of articulating it very well. It's because it's cooning. His shows, it's shucking and jiving at its finest. It's feeding into that narrative of like black dangerous men. And I just find it corny. I find it corny. And if you, like me, have been going to his shows for a long time, the last 10 or 15 years, Chris Rock has taken a curve, has taken a different path. And I would say in the shows that I've been to, 90% of the audience does not look like me and you or Q. And I think he's starting to create his content focused for those people that attend his shows. And it's just not funny anymore. I don't think Chris Rock honestly has been funny for the last 10 years, but that's my personal opinion. So, you know, shout out to Eboni. Shout out to Eboni for saying what a lot of people have been wanting to say for quite a while.
I will say this about Chris Rock. There was a time, I don't know if you guys used to watch, did y'all watch the Chris Rock show? I think it was on HBO. It was extremely it was a black show. Like he used to make fun of racial stereotypes and he used to let them white folks have it. And I wonder if there was some pushback from that because they did cancel the show. Right. And I wonder if that was a reason for it, because I remember a time where I remember Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle being my favorite TV show, like comedian shows, because they were not afraid to kind of say the quiet part out loud and didn't care who had an issue with it. Q, what you think about this? Do you think he's shucking and jiving?
Most definitely. And I, for one, you know, I have never, obviously I can't sit here and say he's not funny because somebody finds him funny. I've never found Chris Rock's humor funny. I've always found it loud, obnoxious, and annoying. However, I think this is a situation where somebody is getting positively rewarded for negative behavior. Unfortunately, in our culture, in order to make it big, you have to go mainstream. And what does mainstream mean? It means going white. Samora would never host the Oscars. They will never go get D.L. Hughley to host the Oscars. They would never go get Bernie Mac if he was still living to host the Oscars. They're going to go get a white-friendly comedian. And how else to be white-friendly than to appeal to them? And then you're getting these big old checks. So it's just like a little child. When they say a curse word and the adults keep laughing, the little toddler keeps saying it. He's been positively rewarded for negative behavior, and now he's just gotten caught up in the vortex of trying to appeal to white people. It's a psychological dilemma that he's having, and that's just where we're at with it. But hats off to Eboni for standing up for what's right and walking out of the damn show.
Real quick, that clip was provided by Holding Court with Eboni K. Williams and my boy Dustin. I want to say
I love both of them. Shouts out to Dustin and Eboni K. Williams.
Every time I go to New York,
I love Dustin.
Me and Dustin are at games together. We go to the Brooklyn Chapel. That's my boy. I love him. And he's so smart. It's tough though in this industry, being Black. It's such a delicate dance you have to play, right? Like when you can be raw and edgy, you don't make that much money. But you feel like that's when your art is pure and you have them, you enjoy it. And then the bigger your platform gets, and you can see that in all areas, you get that. Remember, even we had to make changes when more eyeballs got on us. You had to change things up, and you have to curtail it a little bit. And I just wonder how it feels on that level and what his people are telling him. But I also would think at his level, like he should be able to be like, I can do whatever.
The only reason I'm going to give you a little bit of pushback is because Tyler Perry is a billionaire, and it's not off white eyeballs.
Oh, true.
You see what I'm saying? Like there is enough of your own people that if you pander to them, that'll make you a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? The Bronner brothers are millionaires, not making hair products for white women. They pander to their people. So Tyler Perry is proof that you can work in entertainment, be authentically yourself. And he was a churchy Black person, and appealing to that small niche of churchy Black people made him a billionaire. So
I think we can pull on Dave Chappelle. We don't have to go to Tyler Perry and make it one niche. We can pull on Dave Chappelle, who has done a great job of doing the combination of two, both of them, right? He has, if you go to his concerts, you go to his shows or whatever, you see a good combination of both people that look like us and those that don't. I think and I feel like in his comedy, he stays true to himself.
And I think Chris is trying to get hired to by people and not create his own opportunities like Tyler is. All right, now we're going to have to create our own opportunities outside of Fox. So if I don't take this commercial break, so we're going to go to break right now and we'll be right back. Welcome back to TGIF. Just a reminder, if you could just please do us the favor of hitting that like button in the chat right now, because there's a whole bunch, thousands of y'all watching. So please do us that solid. All right, y'all. Speaking of solid, I need a good solid night's sleep because I do struggle sometimes with insomnia. So my bedding, my pillows, super important to me. Now, listen, the tea doesn't sleep. It's a 24/7 affair, but I need to get my beauty sleep, especially at this age. That's why we're excited to partner with Ghostbed. Ghostbed is a family-owned business that has been designing high-quality sleep products for more than 2 decades. And their 50,000 positive reviews show just how awesome they are. Now, from luxury mattresses to premium sheets that get softer with every wash, Ghostbed is your go-to for all things sleep. Now, plus, if you sleep hot, every Ghostbed mattress is designed with cooling in mind, including materials like their signature Ghost Ice fabric. Now, with Ghostbed, you get fast and free shipping, plus a 101-night sleep trial with free returns. So trying out a mattress is truly risk-free. Now, you can even take their online quiz to find the ideal mattress for your sleeping style. Now, for a limited time, our viewers can get 30% off Ghostbed mattresses, plus 2 free luxury pillows, or get 40% off when you bundle mattresses with their award-winning adjustable base. Fellas, y'all got your Ghostbed pillows, right?
Sure did.
Yes.
Tell me how it feels. Please tell me how it feels.
Let me tell you something. Anybody who knows me knows that sleep or laying in my bed is the favorite thing to do. Like, I am a bed snob. I have every product, every sheet, every whatever made for a bed. I always keep 5, 6, 7 pillows in my bed. And what's weird is when I sit down to watch TV and end up falling asleep, of all the pillows in my bed, subconsciously, I end up grabbing my Ghostbed pillow. That is the one that I gravitate to because it just feels so good, the way it contours around the head and the neck, and it just gives me that sleep that honestly makes me feel like I died and went to heaven, hence Ghostbed. But I love my, don't kill me Ghostbed pillow, but I love my Ghostbed pillow.
Okay, thank you, Al.
I'm with Q on this, except for I don't use any other pillows except for my 2 Ghostbed pillows. And the reason being is it's one of the first cooling therapy pillows that I've used that has, 1, reduced my snoring, and 2, reduced my migraines. Like, usually when I have a migraine, I go and lay down, and the Ghostbed cooling therapy really does reduce the length and time that I have my migraine. It also helps me go to sleep quicker, and it can calm me in my insomnia days as well. It's just something about that pillow that really 110% relaxes me and helps me relieve whatever tension I have around my head and brain.
Sean Alexander in the chat says, me too, Q. I got 6 pillows. So listen, they want to see y'all. They're asking the chat for y'all to show your ghost pillows. So maybe one day we'll have y'all show them.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Okay.
I put it on my Instagram or whatever, most definitely.
Show it so they can know that it's real here. Okay, now listen, use promo code T at ghostbed.com/T to take advantage of the offer. That's ghostbed.com/T with promo code T. Oh, I'm sorry. I want to also add, for a limited time, our viewers can get 30% off Ghostbed mattresses plus 2 free luxury pillows, or get 40% off when you bundle a mattress with their award-winning adjustable base. So really good deals going on here. All right, y'all, quick commercial break, and make sure you get that Ghostbed, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to TGIF. Listen, y'all, this is not a math class, but I just have to point out some numbers. We have 3,451 people in the chat right now. We have 815 likes.
The math ain't math.
2,600 of y'all are being like lurkers on Instagram, where you just look at people's stuff and you don't hit no likes, you don't say nothing. So can you guys get it up? Like I used to tell my ex, can y'all get it up, please? Get it up. Not my last ex, but wait.
Which ex?
I'm so glad you cleaned that up, because
like 10 years ago, ex. Like 10 years ago, ex.
Like husband ex?
Like 10 years ago, ex. Okay.
Give us the tea. We on TGIF, girl. Good these stories. You had a man who had ED.
Yeah, we don't
you know we sell these ED products, so that's a good personal experience. What it is, blue pill, blue chew.
I've seen it.
Oh, we used to do blue chew.
I've seen it twice in my life, and I was like, it does make you insecure. You'd be like, damn, what? But no, then you find out it's a history. Okay, anyways.
Maybe he had gout. I had a man that had gout. My ex-boyfriend from 20 years ago, he had gout and high blood pressure, and his wouldn't get up sometimes. And he would get so embarrassed when it was time for us to do the do, because it was like he just never knew when it would work and when it wouldn't. And
it's so sad. Like, and I know this is off topic right now, but it's so sad because if you like care about the person, and obviously you should,
you don't want to embarrass them.
Yeah, and then you kind of play along, but then when they try to shove that soft, non firm, it's like, you know, when you ever make Jell-O and you don't wait for it long enough to get firm and it's like watery, or you ever like try to put a comfort in the dryer, you just ball it up and just throw it in there. There's no spine to it. It's just there's nothing. And you look at it and you're like, damn it, it has size. It just won't inflate.
Not size and won't inflate.
All right. I'm sad. Okay. All right, y'all. Moving on to something difficult, harder. The popular YouTubers called It's Twins got into a heated exchange with a server at a seafood restaurant after they refused to pay for an incorrect food order. Now, but check this out. Although the order was wrong, one of the twins took a couple bites of the meal. I would too. So take a look at this.
And I'm not paying for the shrimp. You want to get your little fingers and get all the shrimp from out the plate? You don't have to get disrespectful with me. You don't have to get disrespectful. You're taking my plate and I'm sitting here eating. One thing about me, bitch, I'm going to tell you something about it.
Oh, do you guys think the twins were out of line? Q, what you think about this? What would you do if this happened to you?
Hell yeah, they were out of line. When you look at the full clip, and listen, full disclosure, y'all can call me whatever you want. I can't stand ghetto people. I cannot stand ghetto hood people, especially when it was time to go out to eat. Do not go out to eat with me sending food back or sending food back because you ordered it and nothing wrong with it, but because you don't like it, you want to send it back. When you look at the exchange between her and her twin sister was even telling her, you wrong. She was like, girl, you sending the plate back, but the girl walked up and you got the shrimp in your mouth. And then her response was shit, what I'm supposed to do? The plate on my table and I'm hungry, so I'm gonna eat the shrimp. You cannot eat them people food and then send it back. And then she had ate majority of the crawfish. When the lady told her she would replace the shrimp, she was like, but I want another crawfish too. And the girl said, well, you're going to have to pay for the crawfish that you've already eaten. And she was like, no, I'm not paying for 2 crawfish. She was just ignorant all the way around. If your food order was wrong, you should not have eaten the food, point blank, period. And they're going to use ghetto logic, talk about she left a plate here. What I'm supposed to do? Not eat. I'm hungry. Yes, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. Not eat it.
Q, one of the fans, the Soulmates, Kemi Bello says, let Funky know this happened in Tallahassee, right next to FAMU and FSU. So it's Q's
It's my people. It's my people. The people.
Al, what do you think about this?
Hey, you know, we've talked about this before on the show where I shared with everyone that when you order restaurant food, that is a contractual agreement. And they are giving you food in the contract that you're then going to pay them for the food that you were given or eaten. So this is very, very simple. And another thing, I thought the waitress did an awesome job. That clip cut it off, but the waitress definitely tried to negotiate with her and tried to accommodate her, but she didn't like the accommodations that were being offered. And people have to understand this. Waitress and waiters, they have sometimes certain restaurants make them pay for when the wrong food is delivered or when something is eaten or a order is wrong. It's called a chargeback. And that girl was like, I'm not having it today. I'm not having it with your ugly attitude. And I'm definitely not going to be, the one that has to pay for this chargeback because you're in the wrong. I 100% stand in defense of the waiter and the food service company.
Damn, they all in the chat saying it's always Florida.
I'm gonna tell you something though. To my ghetto people and to people who have a tendency to send food back, I'm gonna give y'all a line that works 100% of the time. And I do this when I do have to send food back. The waitress walks back and I literally say, I hate to be this person, but I don't like this or this is wrong and I don't mind paying for it, but can I have XYZ? And 100% of the time, because I was nice and I threw that line out about and I don't mind paying for it, they take it off the check.
I agree. And you said a thing about not acting ghetto in the restaurant and going to restaurants with ghetto folks. And y'all know, do I have to say the disclaimer? I guess I do, because people are low vibrational sometimes. It's ghetto people does not mean Black. It's an attitude. It could be any nationality. Let's be very in race. So with that being said, I'm not going to any restaurant with someone that argues with waiters about food. There's a way to handle it, because you ain't about to have them then spit in my food because they're mad at you because you was ignorant about it. Are you crazy to think I'm going to pop off at the waitress, tell her how to do her job, what I'm not going to pay for, and then think she's going to bring you something back that hasn't been dropped on the floor? I used to work at the movie theaters in Seekonk, Massachusetts, back in the day. This big old drug dealer came in one time and wanted popcorn, but we had closed down already. He cursed me the hell out and said, bitch, da-da-da-da-da. I said, sir, go to your seat. I'll see what I could do. Do you know we found the old stale pop? How long is the statute of limitations? We found the old stale popcorn. We sprayed all kind of stuff. People dust. I was young, trifling. The things we did to this man's popcorn were terrible. And God, I'm so sorry. You know, I've grown. I'm better than that now. I vibrate higher now. And I went and gave him the popcorn.
Her painkillers have her telling all of the secrets.
We thought nothing of it. And from that point, I learned a lesson myself. Like, you don't disrespect people and didn't ask for food from them.
You know, Claudia, that reminds me of a story. When I was pledging, I had a line brother. So when we would go to the club, they would make us buy them drinks or whatever. And I'm not going to call his name, but I had a line brother at the time who would, every time they'd make us buy them drinks, he would spit in the drink and stir it up and give it to his ass. And that taught me I would never take
just like an alpha. Just like an alpha.
Take food from a plate.
I don't go to restaurants with nobody that act like that no more. It's not happening. All right, y'all. Let's move on before we incriminate ourselves further. Well, and by us, I mean me. This is crazy. A Black man is saying that Hispanics should be allowed to say the N-word because they supposedly built the whole country, y'all. I don't remember them being on them slave ships. Take a look at this.
Because y'all be doing the same thing that us Black folks have done 24/7. They treat y'all even worse right now. Well, y'all built this whole thing.
Oh, must be Coon Week. What are your thoughts, Al?
My thing is, first of all, no, sir, never. I don't know where they got him from, but good for them for getting one to agree with him. But this is my question. What is the obsession with people who aren't Black and use this word? Why do they want to use this word so bad? Why do they want to use this word so bad? I just don't get it. Why does anybody outside of Black people, why are they so obsessed with using this word?
White people, especially white women, well, and men, are not used to being told what to do. They hate it. So you tell them they can't do something, they want to do it, just like the little kids. Don't do that. They try it. And it's one thing we have over them. One thing out of the entire country that we can say, we demand you don't say that. And if you say it, you look bad. It's the one thing we have. And they want to take that away as well. Q, what you think about this? And what do you think? This brother said the Hispanics built this country.
So I'm not even going to address the brother saying the Hispanics built the country. That he's just ignorant when it comes to that. As far as the word is concerned, the word has become such a popular part of pop culture that I understand why various different people move it. Really quick synopsis. When I moved back to Miami and I started hanging out down to the bar with the Honda cars be, there were a bunch of like Puerto Rican, dark-skinned Latin guys behind me who, for whatever, had that thug appeal, like they lived in the hood, and they were using the N-word, just using it. And I looked back and was like, hey, whoa, slow down. Watch that word. You know what I'm saying? And then I realized, Q, you're new here. You can't enter this space where these people have been all these years and police their language. And so it was one of those things that I personally have grown to let it go when it comes from certain groups. I'm not going to let no white person say it around me, but I'm a little less resistant when it's a Puerto Rican person or when it's a Puerto Rican person.
Yeah,
or Dominican person. You know, I'm a little less resistant. But I don't know. I think it's time to retire the word altogether, to be honest.
I think Puerto Ricans and Dominicans that identify with Black and don't think they're better than Black people, where a lot of them do, the whole light dark thing over there they have, kind of okay.
Yeah.
But the rest that like look down the nose of that Black people like, well, negrito this and whatever they say. All right, y'all, we're going to take a quick break. Make sure you put your questions for us in the chat. And no, I'm not high in opioids. I'm on pain meds for my teeth. They saying I can't handle the show because I'm feeling good. Yes, I am feeling good, but whatever. We'll talk about that in the last segment. So give us your questions and we'll be right back. Hit that like button. We'll be right back. Welcome back to TGIF. It's our last segment. So we're going to get this quick story and then get to your questions for us. All right, y'all, real quick, let's get into this. During a recent episode of Vlad TV, Isaiah Washington shared his thoughts on Aaliyah's relationship with R. Kelly. He said she was very in control of her being, she was a businesswoman too. She was super smart, right? I think she was in control of that situation, even at her age. He added, she was 15 going on 30, easy. What are your comments? Al, let's start with you. What do you think about this?
I just felt like the way he said it, the tone that it came out, it made me very uncomfortable. And personally, I didn't like it. I didn't like it to the tune that it's making me look at him side-eye and suspect. Like, was that a revealing moment? The girl was only, 14 and 15 in this experience. How did she have control with a man who was clearly in his 30s? No, sir, Isaiah Washington, you're wrong for this. They need to look into your past relationships if this is how you feel.
All right. Q, what you think?
His ass about to get canceled again because she can't be a businesswoman if she was a child.
Right.
And that's just the short of it. You can't be a businesswoman when she was a child. Now, had she been 21, working a grown man the way Carisha working puffy ass right now for G-Wagons and furs and shit, then I'd be like, yes, get it, sis. But you can't be a businesswoman when you are a child.
I used to hang with him back when I used to live when I first moved to LA. He was so cool back then. Isaiah, what are you doing? Like, how are you saying, oh, yeah, but she was a grown 15. She was a grown 12. Man, she 11, but man, she ain't like 11. That's what it sounds like. That's
very telling. It's very telling of what his ass would do.
Exactly.
I look at a 25-year-old right now as mad young mentally. You know what I mean? All right, y'all, we can't make sense of it. So before we go, we want to show love to our fans in the chat and open up the floor for them to ask us anything. And I do mean anything. Are y'all ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So dramatic. Okay. All right, let's get to these questions. This is for all of us. Do you have any exes that you would date again, real quick? And
no.
why?
Yes.
Yes. Question for Al. Can you post more pics of yourself other than social outings where you're out?
Oh, geez. Like what? What do they want picked up?
From your private life.
You in the tan in bed with them panties on.
Look at my stories. Why
do they keep trying to make this work here? Question for Al from Helen. Would you consider dating Claudia? Y'all?
Claudia too high maintenance. Don't nobody want her ass.
Al is way more high maintenance. I am a regular schmegular girl.
Yeah, right. Flying all over the world, different hotels, different movies, different beaches.
I'm a successful actress / talk. And I pay for it. And
it wouldn't work no way because Claudia can't keep no man. So
that's right. I can't keep a man. I cannot keep a man. And I can't keep a man. Okay. Question for Q. I remember you said you were dealing, this is from Asia Goins. I remember you said you dealt with debilitating anxiety and depression. Are you in a better place now? I hope so.
Most definitely, but mine's is chemical. So I could literally wake up tomorrow and just not be able to get out of bed. I am on medications. But yeah, I have my ups and downs. But I'm managing, and I've been dealing with it for so long. I kind of know when it's coming on or when I'm about to have a manic episode. But I'm on medicine. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're glad you're doing better. Yvette Robinson, Claudia, do you like dating athletes or regular working man? Duh.
Athletes.
Six pack and great body with swag and charisma and no gout and good working stuff, or a guy with a big old belly. I like in shape men. Okay, that are fine. Okay,
with a check.
Yeah, I used to not care about that, but I care now.
You a damn fool, honey. High as rent is.
Life of Shanta, Claudia, would you consider returning to Real Housewives? I would, now that I know the game now. Yeah. Question for Al. Who's the rudest celebrity you've ever worked with?
Oh, that's a good question. I would probably say one of my rudest encounters. I wouldn't say the rudest person I've ever worked with, but one of my rudest encounters was with Anita Baker.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. And the sad part about it is I've heard that Anita got a bad attitude too, but that's my girl. No Anita Baker.
I mean, I love Anita Baker too. She just asked me a question, and that's my reality, because I've never had too many rude encounters, but that one I was shocked and it was unwarranted, and it actually really hurt my feelings.
Real quick, Q, have you had any spirit? We only have 39 seconds. Q, have you had any spirit visitors lately?
No, I have not. I haven't had any spirits visit me in about 6 weeks.
Damn.
What type of spirit?
Wait, in 6 weeks? 6 weeks ago.
What?
Wow.
I did a video. I talk about ghosts visit me. I'll tell y'all offline.
Okay. Curvy Jess Jersey K. Claudia, who is your new man? Oh, we are out of time. Thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you for watching.
It's not clever
on YouTube. The time is the time.
You are
Stay
not
tuned
clever.
For the premiere of Tracks and Tales. We will see y'all next week. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We gotta go. Bye, y'all.
Bye, so amazing, crafty Claudia.